Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to another video. So I'm really happy that we finished the video tutorial series on how to create an API. So as you can see here, we have all our APIs, we have our routes, we have how to sign up, how to create a category, how to create a video game, we have our controllers, our helpers, our modals, basically using the and well, the routes would kind of be the views. It's not really a view because we're not displaying anything, but these are the routes that will send the data into the views, and that will send the JSON objects in order for us to use in the views and our controllers. So there you have the MVC. Now, in order for it to be truly MVC, we need to handle the views, or the front end in this case. So for front end, we're gonna do two projects. We're gonna do an Angular project and we're gonna do a React project. So we're gonna go into our terminal, and I'm just gonna make the font a little bit bigger. I know it's not increasingly. All right, I hope that's a little bit bigger. It's not as big as this maybe, but I hope that you guys can see. So right now I'm in this folder, which is the video games, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do it in Finder just so you guys don't get confused. Just so you do know how to use a terminal, that's great. But maybe there's some people that they may not know how to use it. So I'm just gonna do it in Finder for you guys, in order for you to be able to follow this easier. I would just use the move command, by the way. Create a new directory, move this directory inside that new directory, and create an Angular and a React directory. But for those of you guys that do know how to do it. So where's my Node.js? Node.js, there you go. Video games. Okay, so this is my Node.js project. So I'm just gonna rename this. I'm going to rename it backend. You'll see why. So now I'm going to create a new folder here, and I'm going to call it video games. And this is an empty folder, and we're going to drag the backend here. So now we go into backend, and by the way, I'm going to exit this in order to make this, I don't know, in case that there's any problems. I'm also going to quit this because this doesn't exist here anymore. This is now inside of yeah. And now backend, yeah. So I would have to go into backend now. So video games backend, because this is our backend. This is where our server is and where our database is being used. So now I'm gonna go here, and now I can use the terminal with no problem. That's annoying. Yeah, as you can see, the mic is not standing stable. Okay. So yeah, we have the backend there. So we're gonna exit this directory. Now let's start with Angular, because I feel that a lot of people don't touch on the Angular projects anymore. So let's do Angular. So I'm gonna do, I think it's ng create. I don't know. It's been a little bit longer than what I thought. So create new Angular app. It's ng new, I think. ng new and name of the project. Okay. So ng new, and we're gonna call this. We're not gonna call this video games because we're already inside of the video games folder. So we're gonna call this front end, and we're gonna call it Angular because we're also gonna have a React front end. Would you like to add Angular routing? No, because we will do that ourselves. We're gonna use. I mean, I just use CSS. It really doesn't matter if you do CSS or SCSS. Both are just as good. Okay. I'm drinking my tea. So yeah, I don't want to fast forward it because it does take a little bit, but less than a minute. So let's just wait. And basically what I want to achieve in this video is just to be able to display the whole list of the video games, to have our nav bar, and then from there we will move on to the next video, and I'm just looking at OBS because apparently there's some problems. But yeah, and then from there we're just going to deal with the authentication. So almost there. I don't remember taking so long, so almost there, I hope. Well, we can start running our API meanwhile. So now we're going to nodejs cd video game cd backend. Then we do npm run dev. If you guys are using your database locally, make sure you also have a MongoDB instance running. Since I have this running in the background, this is displaying, but I actually do have mongod running. And just to make sure that is running, we do localhost. Mine is running 5000. I do the video games route. And there you go. Here are my video games. So perfect. My API is working perfect. Okay, so now let's see. Successfully initialized. Okay. So now I'm just going to do clear front-end Angular. Cool. So we're going to front-end Angular. And now we just do ng serve to run this. And this is going to be running on the 4200 port, because that's the default port that Angular uses. And if I remember well, I think there's always a problem with the React, with the RxJS library. Or not anymore. Okay, that's cool. So now let's run localhost 4200. Cool. So this is just telling you how to generate a component, which by the way, I prefer to do ng generate and then the name of the folder slash the name of the component. So let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to command T. I'm going to exit. So right now we're in the video games folder. I don't want to open Unity. So I have my Visual Studio Code open. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close everything, and I don't know if you guys saw, but I have quit. Yeah. That's just a mistake. Quit quick. Anyway, so I'm here in the most outer folder of the project, where I have, like, inside of it, I have my backend and my frontend, and that's where I want to open my Visual Code Studio, because I don't know, in my opinion, it's easier to manage. It's more comfortable. You have your backend and your frontend, so you just do this or that. It's super easy. And then if you want to go into your backend, just type index and you have your backend. If you want to go into your frontend, you type app module. For example, if we're using Angular. If we're using React, we go into like our index.js, but we don't have React right now. So we're just gonna go into our Angular, and here in the source, normally either you create a folder in the source, or you can do, I don't know, for example, we're gonna do ng, which stands for Angular, then you do generate, or you can just do G, which is shorthand for generate. Then you type the name of the folder, which is components/component, and then just the name of the component, which would be, I don't know, home. Requires to be run an Angular project. Oh, duh. So that's because we're in the video game, so we have to go into the front end. So we'll go into the front end, and now we rerun that same command, ng g components component, and then the name of the component, which will be home. So here you should unhandle schematic component of fat. Maybe I have to do ngg slash first. I forgot. Let me Google it quickly. But I like it a lot better doing it that way. So ngg components component name. Let's see. It'll probably correct me. Oh, okay, so it's ngg, then C for component, then the name of the folder, then the name of the component. So I'm just gonna type everything not to confuse you guys. So ng generate component, now the name of the folder, components, then the name of the component, which will be home. Now just be aware that we can just use G and C for this. So now we'll go here, and I don't see the components folder. Oh, in the app. Yeah, my bad. That's fine. That's where we wanted it, in the app. In React, we won't see an app. You just see like everything is at the source folder level. In Angular, it's just at the app folder level, but it's not really that much of a big deal. So now, in order for us to see whatever we have in our home component, we're gonna go to app module. So bootstrap app component. Let's see what happens if we do home component. Okay, so we're going to do inspect. Error. App home did not match with any elements. Duh, that's because we're not displaying it in the we're not displaying it here, I believe. What the hell? So let's just do app home. App home did not match any element at default. Select root element, and select root element, if I remember well, should be not here, but well, we can go here and just do root. Source root, no. Root get test, no, it's not here. I am not sure. I don't think it's here. This we shouldn't touch. The index.html should remain untouched. So navigate to return browser, get browser, promise any. Let me see how do I have this. And let's see the time too, because I don't want to take too long. 16, okay. I don't want to go beyond 20. So I have another project which I can just refresh my memory. Okay, that's not going slow. No, I have it in Angular. Okay, I have it here. So components. I think it's in the app module. I remember being like that being the app component, home component. Why is this giving me an error though? Says there's no errors, compiled successfully, but app home did not manage any elements at default DOM render. Main TS. App module, there you go. Main TS, that's where we'll have to go. So we go to main TS. And we're going to import for now. We're not going to use this layer. We're going to use a router because that's what we would normally use. But for now, we will use this. Why is this giving me an error? How much was declared, but it's valid in red. Okay, whatever. Because we're gonna use it right now, and then this error should go away because we're using it. Sometimes I hate this TS lint, but home module was not found in whatever. You know what? Let's just make the app route right now. The router, sorry. So let's quickly do that. So we're gonna minimize this. We're gonna leave this app folder like that. And then what we're going to do is create inside of the app folder a new file. And we're gonna call it routes.ts. And in the routes, we're going to import the routes component from Angular router. And we're also going to import our home components. And that's gonna come from components, home components. And I have a typo right there. Router. Yeah, that's fine. So now we're going to export the routes. Const app routes equals routes, which will be an array. This will be a path, home, and when the user types home, we're going to serve the home components. So also, if we're going to do some redirection, meaning that, say for some reason the user doesn't use anything other than the routes that we put here, so that's going to be more useful in the future, because right now we only have one route component. So if the user types something that just doesn't exist, we're just going to redirect them to home. Path match full, meaning either it's precise or we redirect them. My routes is declared here. I don't get it. I don't get what. Oh, routes, not road twos. Routes. Same here. Dyslexia over here. Alright, and now we have to go into our app module, and we have to make aware that first we have to bring the routes file, app routes. So here, import app routes from routes. This is our name. Well, actually, I believe the name's a little bit different. This is the name, app routes. So there you go. And then in order to tell Angular that we're using app routes, we're going to do router.module.forRoute app routes. And again, my dyslexia, Jesus. Router, oh, we have to import the router module. So import router module from Angular. Is it Angular routes? I'm not sure. Angular router. Angular router app routes. Okay. Then the last thing that we need to do is import in our app component HTML the router. So we're going to do router/outlet. This is like a convention, so don't get to don't try to figure out why, but this is how Angular works. Now there's one thing that is bothering me, because we cannot see this working. App component. Okay, let's see there. Type pass error. Typo. So let's do this. Router. There you go. Homeworks. So our router is done, and it's already 26 minutes. So at least we have the setup of Angular with the router, which is very important. I would like to continue showing you guys how to display the video games, but for now I'm gonna cut it here because otherwise it's gonna get too long. Thank you for watching, and please hit a like, subscribe, and don't miss on the next videos because I'm gonna also show React. I'll see you next time.